Welcome to How to Fest Daily. I'm Tabitha Jackson, director of the Sundance Film Festival, and I'm coming to you from New York City, ancestral homeland of the Lenape. Today, our theme is Convergence. But first, a moment of gratitude to all our official Sundance Film Festival sponsors. Thank you. We just couldn't put this thing on without you. And in particular, recognition goes to our presenting sponsors, Acura, AMC Plus, Chase Sapphire, Adobe, and our beautiful host state of Utah. So, today's theme, Convergence. What is it to come together in a world that is pushing us apart? Although we may be separated geographically, we are together in this moment to celebrate the creative energy that's born from it. So, Convergence is your guiding principle of today. Sundancers, go forth and discover. Up next in this segment, I am joined by two incredible filmmakers, directors of Genius, and yes, they are too, Coodie and Chike. Hello, everyone. It is my immense pleasure, through the magic of technology, to be here with Coodie and Chike, who wrote and produced and directed the incredible Genius, a Kanye West trilogy, which is premiering on Sunday, the 23rd of January. Please do not miss it. It's an extraordinary work. And we're super lucky to have Coodie and Chike with us here. Hello, guys.
How's it going?
For those who haven't seen it yet, which is literally the entire world, can you tell us what it's about?
When I seen Kanye, this young producer, in Chicago, but was rapping and doing it all, had a group of the go-getters, I decided that I'm gonna document Kanye the way that the guys documented the Arthur A.G. and William Gates for Hoop Dreams, and just so happened Kanye became a mega superstar, and we helped with that, by doing this first video through The Wire, me and Chike. So
today's theme on this show is Convergence. So Chike, how did you and Coodie get together? How did you two converge?
It was in 2000, around 2001. 2001, yeah, around 2001 that Coodie met, and it was through a mutual friend of ours. Her name was Jasmine. She was a producer at MTV at the time, and Coodie was helping them produce a You Here First. So she just figured he should meet some people in the building, and she connected us, and the rest is really history between us.
Yeah, and we came together when Kanye had his car accident in LA, and we had the idea of what the video we wanted the Through the Wire video to be, but we just visually didn't know how to achieve that. Like, wait, we met Chike, he do motion graphics at MTV. Let's call him, he might could help us. I hit Chike, I was like, Chike, we have no money, but we got a great idea. And I couldn't believe when he was like, let's go, I'm in. So
that's amazing. And that's like independent spirit right there. It's like, and it's also like by any means necessary. So Coodie, let's start with you on why did you pick up the camera in the first place? Because this is before Kanye is Kanye. I
started a TV show while I was hosting it with this guy, Danny Sorge, called Channel Zero. And everybody would go crazy over the show. They was like, yo, Channel Zero. So everybody was so excited about that. And I got super excited about it. So when Danny couldn't go out places, I was like, man, show me how to use your camera so I can go. That's when I ran into Kanye and seen how charismatic he was. And like I said, inspired by Hoop Dreams, I'm like, I'm gonna document him.
Is there a scene that when you watch it back, it's always the one you're waiting for?
I mean, I think I'd say more a section than a scene. A section to me would be Channel Zero, because, I immediately saw the genius in Coodie. I was like, man, your camera work and the way you tell stories, it's amazing. This is when we first met, and that's what spawned us to even have conversations around film.
I believe the scene that's at the very beginning when I first interviewed Kanye, because if it wasn't for that, then this might not be.
Just before we go, what's your favorite film?
I say for me, a film stays with me is Cinema Paradiso, and it's a film that my aunt took me to at a young age. It was probably one of the first foreign films I ever saw. It was that film that sort of got cinema on my radar.
I really want to say a film because I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now if it wasn't for this film, Jojo Dancer by Richard Pryor. That's the movie that actually reason why I'm doing what I do, and I understand that.
There are so many extraordinary moments in this. What happens to the series and what happens to you guys? What do you do next?
I live in the now, you know what I mean? So I just play it. I just go with the flow of life. So, but of course it's going to air on Netflix and it's going to air around the world. And we're hoping for, the best with that, of course.
Thank you to both of you. One of the best things about this job as festival director is that I get to sit and talk and listen to artists like you, who have and will continue to change the culture. Our festival audience is going to love this series. Thank you for sharing it with us. Coodie and Chike, have a great day.
Thank you. We appreciate the platform and we definitely appreciate the conversation.
Convergence is a bit like time. It is forever reoccurring and seeps into all things, thick and steady like honey, with only one true intention: the never-ending exchange of reciprocity. By that we mean, if we are all truly connected, then I grow, you grow, we all grow. The real magic in this, of course, is not solidarity, but instead the broadening of creative thinking and, more importantly, being. The individuality in us all means that this growth, although symbiotic, will remain intersectional, individual, specific. Navy reminds you of your school tie. For me, my grandmother's favorite church hat. The mere exchange of these nostalgic inspirations allows for an eternity of creative possibility. Think about it and get your mind right.
In the spirit of Convergence, next up is a conversational mind meld between our very own Sundance programmer, Ana Souza, and the genius director of Watcher, Chloe Okuno.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ana Souza. I'm one of the Sundance programmers. And this morning on How to Fest Daily, I'm really excited to be talking to Chloe Okuno, who recently directed Watcher. Chloe, thanks so much for taking the time to sit down with us today. I was wondering if we could start off by you telling us about Watcher for anyone who's hearing about it for the first time.
Absolutely. Yeah. So Watcher is a movie about this young woman named Julia, played by Micah Monroe, who moves to Bucharest, Romania with her husband. And he is part Romanian, so he speaks the language, he knows the culture, but she does not. She's an American girl through and through. So when she gets there, she is, very isolated and oftentimes alone. And in this beautiful apartment they live in, she begins to become convinced that there's a man in the building across the way who's watching her.
What draws you to these psychological thrillers and to the horror genre?
I've thought about this a lot, and my feeling is that a lot of anxious people tend to be people who like horror movies. I know for myself, I'm a very anxious person, and I tend to sort of focus on a lot of my fears and let them spiral in my head in a way that's probably incredibly unhealthy. And horror movies, I think it's probably a little paradoxical because you would think that that's feeding the anxiety, but actually I feel like it allows you to have a sort of release.
And while we were talking about Romania, why was Romania kind of the ideal location for the story, and what was the process? I mean, you talked a little bit about the shoot, but how did you also work to kind of make Bucharest like its own character as a city?
So this was very interesting because the script I initially signed on to do was set in New York City. It was a very New York script. That changed, and I heard ultimately, it was looking for certain that we were going to go shoot this in Bucharest, Romania. And I decided that, I didn't want to try to make Bucharest look like some nameless North American city. Certainly didn't want to make it try to look like New York City. And I just embraced the fact that that's where we were going to go. And I rewrote the entire script to take place in Romania. And honestly, it was such a wonderful, creative thing, because it unlocked this whole other side of the narrative where, now it's not just this woman moving into an apartment, it's this woman moving into an entirely new city, and not speaking the language. And, I'd had a few experiences living abroad, and I knew, how isolating that could be. So yeah, it was not necessarily a choice from the beginning. It was a choice that was born out of practical necessity. But I'm so glad that that's where we ended up.
Your cast is really incredible. Goes without saying. I was wondering what was the process of bringing them on, especially in terms of helping them prepare for what are pretty psychologically demanding roles, especially in the case of Micah and Bern.
Micah, obviously, is so incredible in this movie. And, we talked a lot about, the experience of living abroad. She herself had that experience where I think she was living, I hope this isn't wrong, I think it was in the Dominican Republic. So she knew what it felt like to be in this new culture and to be isolated, and obviously brought that into the film. But truly, Micah is such a professional, and I think she's just one of those people who shows up. She's prepared internally what she wants to do. And, I felt like what she brought to it, which I love so much, is this real, true, simmering anger and frustration that you can tell she's trying not to show as Julia, but it's there and it's so real and present. And I certainly feel that constantly in this business, when people tend to doubt you for a variety of reasons. And I'm sure Micah has probably experienced that as well. So her performance was really honest.
Well, thank you so much, Chloe. It's been such a pleasure to chat with you. And everybody, please make sure to get your tickets to watch Watcher at this year's 2022 Sundance Film Festival. Thanks again.
The moment you've been waiting for. I am going to tell you just some of the things that are happening today at our fine festival. Festival Friday. Let's start with the films. We've got some amazing premieres rolling out. Just a few of them that can take us around the world. Klondike takes us to Ukraine, the Ukraine-Russian border. Fantastic fiction film. All That Breathes takes us to India. Oh, this film is so beautiful and so profound. What else have we got? We've got After Yang in our spotlight section, and I'll be talking to Koganada, the director of that film, in a couple of days. And we've also got We Met in Virtual Reality, directed by Joe Hunting, who's also coming on this show soon, and it is directed in the metaverse, in virtual reality. It's a documentary. It's a Sundance first, so don't miss that. Then we've got some other things going on beyond film. Oh, you know what? All That Breathes touches on this theme too, but this is a session presented by a wonderful Women at Sundance group. This session is called Calling All Artists. The climate crisis is recruiting. It's going to be energetic and important, and most importantly, fun. Not most importantly, it's a very serious crisis. We also have a collab round table happening this afternoon, and some wonderful things going on in Festival Village, a shadow and act panel called Powerful Black Women Shaping the Industry. You better invite me to that one. Chase Sapphire and LA Times talk with the film team of Nanny. The Atlantic will be talking to the team behind Free Chalsol Lee. And NPR will be talking to Eva Longoria, perhaps, because they're talking about La Guerra Civil, which is her directorial debut. And Color Congress, a very exciting new intervention into our space, is convening with a session called Shifting Power from Within. That's what we need to be doing. And finally, if that wasn't enough, go to the spaceship, because that's where I'm going to be hanging out between films, because they also have some amazing new frontier work. Acura is showing today, and so is Sugar, a live virtual dance performance. And of course, every film has their premiere party on the spaceship where we can get together and talk about what we've just seen. So it's a lot to do. Put your intrepid trousers on and go forth and discover.